This broadcast will start in 15 seconds. This broadcast will start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Voice of Stockton. For more information on The Voice of Stockton, go to thevoiceofstockton.org.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS The Voice of Stockton or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
Welcome. This is Jim T. Chong, the Wok Star. We are just on the edge of what they call the Miracle Mile in Stockton, California, and I am very excited today because we are going to be having one of the authors of Breaking Barriers with us. We have Cliff Debaugh with us, and he's going to talk about red light, green light, and intuition, and it's going to be very exciting just to hear about just how a story can make a difference to the people that hear it. But also, we are very excited to announce just certain things that are happening here in Stockton, California, because we say that things that happen locally here also have nationwide implications. So, again, I am Jim T. Chong, the Wok Star, and I'm with
Cliff Debaugh.
And you're listening to Wok the Talk. And as we begin here today, I just want to mention we had a pretty exciting event over at the Logan's Roadhouse in Elk Grove, launching the celebration party for Breaking Barriers. And that's the book that we have here. And it really was very inspiring just to see people come over from just various areas near Elk Grove. We had people come up from Modesto, from Pleasanton, just all over to celebrate this great event, and we had some great things happening there. But one of the things I was really excited about was being able to have Kirby Delaney. She is the world record brick breaker in the Guinness Book of World Records. She could break 150 bricks in a minute, 33 seconds. And so that was a very, very exciting time here for all the authors just to see. And of course, there are a lot of analogies we can give to how she broke the bricks there. But let's go ahead and give all the authors a big round of applause, Cliff. And so it was a very exciting time there. But we want to go ahead and just address something very important. There's a lot of things happening in the nation today, and I want to just highlight the fact that they say that you can't really change all the situations directly, but one thing you can change is yourself. I believe that the stories that underlie people's lives can have a really significant impact on the people that listen to those stories or hear about those stories. And so that's why we are here today. But Breaking Barriers was put together for the purpose of inspiring people to be able to make some great decisions, give them hope. And the whole concept behind Breaking Barriers are to focus on decisions that elevate people from ordinary to extraordinary. A lot of these people that have contributed to the book have inspiring stories, and we have one of them with us here. That's Cliff Debaugh, and Cliff Debaugh is the founder of Ready for Rescue. He is also very philanthropic in terms of really just helping community, and he's on a few other endeavors here as well. So I want to, again, welcome you, Cliff. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Jim. Thanks for this opportunity.
You know, there's always some great things to talk about here. First off, before we get into your chapter specifically, tell us a little bit about Ready for Rescue and just what its purpose is in terms of the formation of this entity that you're starting to launch.
Ready for Rescue is a way to optimize a 911 call before you make the call, so that it's a proactive approach to it. And with saving time, you can actually save your life, and you have a faster recovery as a result of your time savings. And so we've put together on the website, readyforrescue.com, there is a home inspection app that you can use, give you a general idea of what the delays are within your home, and then we have a personal health profile that can help people compile their health information, emergency contacts, who takes care of the children should something happen. And it's as much as critical information like doctors and medications and most importantly allergies, so that if you are in a situation, they've got this on this information is available on a data card that you can download to.
Wow. Well, that's exciting. And so where are you at in the process currently?
We're in pre-launch. We have the web apps on the website, and we're currently in the beta testing on those.
So, with the launch of this, what can people expect? Like, what problem are you trying to solve? I think it's kind of implied, but some people are not familiar with what we just talked about, 911 response. What does that really mean?
Well, it's one of those situations where we don't really think about things until it happens. And especially with the 911 call in your home, that's your safe castle. That's your home spot. That's where you're most relaxed. And yet when something happens catastrophically, it hits you in a very unprepared moment. And so there's a lot of anxiety and panic that sets in while you're making the call. And our purpose is to relieve that anxiety, have you more focused on being calm when you talk to the dispatchers, which is really critical, so you don't have to repeat information and eat up valuable seconds that way.
Wow. Well, I know that it's really important. If anyone has ever called 911, you are just waiting. I mean, just even a second seems like an eternity sometimes when you're seeing somebody you love suffer. If you're going through something, you need that immediate care.
Yeah, seconds seems like minutes or even hours if they can't find you, and that's the whole purpose of our whole program, is to make you aware. We assist you in getting your home ready as far as visibility, compiling your information, and being prepared.
Yeah, I mean, it's very important to consider just those things. And I just want to ask you, there is the chapter in your book is called Red Light, Green Light Intuition. What is that all about?
Well, I was sitting here on West Lane at Bradford Street waiting for a stoplight when my accident happened. I was rear-ended, and the lady that impacted the car she was doing about 30 to 40 miles an hour according to the police report. And I was I was turning my head because I couldn't see where the brakes were coming from, but and that's what really amplified my injuries. With my head turning, my brain got sloshed on all sides, front to back, side to side, and it was really disorienting. I was extremely dizzy after the accident.
Wow. Well, of course, some traumatic things happened during that accident. It sounds like, okay, it wasn't just a fender bender. Tell me a little bit about the accident.
Well, there wasn't any physical damage to the vehicle. I was in a van, so the lady went underneath it, but the fact that I was tossed, even though I had my seatbelt on, I got a good jostle, and I didn't have information with me, and I was extremely disoriented, as I said. And this is, through the whole treatment process, I didn't have anybody to listen to me, and I had to function from this internal voice that we all have, called our intuition. And I had to listen to it in spite of it going against what advice I was being given by the doctors. They did not know my body, and I had to become my own patient advocate at the time as well.
Wow. So it's interesting because we go to hospitals and we assume that those are places that will really, we'll get help from, right? And I know Mary Nicholson is a strong proponent of patient-driven care.
Yes.
And can you tell us why that's important, that whole concept?
Boy, I'll tell you, you are your own best advocate if family shouldn't be around. As a result of the accident, I basically lost my family because they couldn't handle the situation at all. And my wife did what was best for the children at the time. So that leaves you alone, and you're having to put your whole life back together, and you have to really be your own advocate at that stage, because if you're not, you're going to be asked to do things that actually go against your body. Prescription drugs are not healthy for your body. There's alternative ways. And I had enough mental faculty to go down the medical library and take a look at what they were trying to prescribe to me. And when I looked, it scared me.
What scared you about it?
Oh man, there was personality switches, the personality challenges. There was an addiction that was at the top of the list. There was mood swings. there was a list that when I got into it, I was totally stunned that they would try to give me this drug. And today, the accident happened back in '95, and today that prescription they wanted to give me is actually illegal. It's so powerful.
What was that? What was the drug?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So, you know, just with everything after the accident, how did that change your life?
Actually, it changed my life dramatically. I have abilities today that I didn't have back then. I can look at things mechanically and figure out how they work. I can draw. I can perceive that thing that's not being said within a crowd. If you're in a committee and they're trying to get a point across but nobody's making the point, then I sit back and I listen, and I'm able to discern what's going on really, and then bring out the question at the end. And then I also have that intuition that was brought forward just from me using it all the time. And as a male, that's not something we're used to. We're not paying attention to that inner voice.
Are you saying that women have better intuition?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay, we're not even going to hide from that one.
I'm not sure if I got in touch with my feminine side or what.
Right.
But,
Oh, I think I'm going to cry.
Yeah. So I learned a lot from it, and I continue to learn to this day because I still function from an intuitive side. And it really puts you in touch with, at a deeper level, to people you have conversations with. You can relate to them as a person, as a mind, a body, and a spirit completely.
Wow. Well, I think that certain things can happen in life that alter our course in life. So what would you say your life was like before the accident as opposed to after the accident?
Oh man, it's like day and night. I had a completely different personality, and that's one of the things that I was curious about as I started coming out of the accident, and I met people that had concussions, and I was hearing the same thing. I ran into a couple up in Elk Grove, and they were in a plane crash, and they both, husband and wife, both got concussions from the accident, and they actually switched personalities. The husband was the really aggressive one in the couple, and the wife was passive, and now she's
Wow.
passive, and she's aggressive, and he's passive, and they're having to redo their whole relationship as a result of it.
Wow.
And because people are used to her being passive.
Right.
And now she's the go-getter, wants to get things done. And he's like, yeah, we'll get to it. It's a good idea. It takes time.
A change of roles, trading places.
Oh, yeah, it was absolutely trading places for them. And basically that's what happened to me, is that I had this really aggressive personality. I was a no BS kind of guy. And then, through 3 years of recovery and hanging around a lot more positive people than I was in, I put myself in a completely different environment as a result of this. And I mellowed out a lot.
Wow.
I'm not near the person that I was. Even my oldest son, he goes, man, you're not the guy I grew up with. So they're taken back by that too.
Right.
Because they still try to do things, even though they're older, they still try to do things like when they were a kid, because that's the dad they knew. This is not the new model that's out there right now. And I'm a lot more relaxed, and I just look at them and go, yeah, right.
Wow.
I don't get upset anymore. It's not worth it.
Well, things happen in our life can really change the course of our life. And, just in your chapter here, what is the theme that you want people to get out of your chapter?
Well, there's two answers to that. One is, as I spoke about, being your own best advocate if you're in an emergency situation, if you can do it. And secondly, if you are in an emergency situation and cannot communicate, make sure your emergency contact is someone that stays calm, and that they just know where your information is. They don't have to have it. I mean, we all have friends that don't want to know everything about us, but that's really important in an emergency situation. And then secondly is and for me, as it's gone through 20 plus years later, is really important to pay attention to that inner voice. That's like your spirit talking to you, your soul, whatever you want to call it, but it'll keep you out of trouble. It will keep you on your path, and it will open up people to you that can enrich your life.
Wow. Well, that's really good, and I think we should make the most of any opportunity we have, and just putting down your story. What was the thought process you had, but also how has that helped you through your journey in life and just through the accident and everything?
Well, it was interesting as I had to figure out what to write. So I think about things, and then I have this, again, intuition that hits me that this is the point in my energy that I can sit down and I can just write. And that's exactly what happened. Is I sat down and I wrote it in a matter of a half an hour, just wrote the whole thing. And then I just closed the book and I didn't read it for another couple weeks. And then when I came back to it, I read that and I was like, who wrote this? You know, it wasn't like I would normally write if I was sitting there consciously thinking about what I was going to put down. And it's enhanced life in that it was therapeutic. It was pretty well thought-provoking as far as looking back at it, because we don't look at things in our future, say 20 years later, the same way that we did at the time it happened. We put a frame around it, and that's where we were at that time. And when we realize 20 years later, we keep looking at it as if it was we were there 20 years ago, when that's not really the case. And so as you gain information and you learn more about yourself, when you advance that 20 years into the future, you can take a better look at it, and you can get a more real look at it as a mature individual and what the benefits were of it. Not that it was a detrimental accident and play poor me. That's not it. Those things happen to make you stronger. And that's one of the things, and actually the greatest thing that's happened out of it is it's made me a lot stronger as a person, with not only the incident, but the people that I've met along the way.
Yeah. And, you know, it's exciting when you get a group of people that are all unified, coming together for the singular purpose, and just seeing the group of people all that have great stories. It really inspired me just to think about the knowledge and depth and breadth of everyone in that room here. And I want to encourage people to really think about, what is your story? What is your personal story that you have to be able to contribute to this thing called life? And supporting the greater good is such an important aspect for me in terms of life. And as my dad's memory fades, I know I don't want to take anything for granted, and I really am all about supporting the greater good. And so in writing a story, I think it's really important to understand just what your story could mean to somebody else. So, you know, as we end out today, I just want you to consider, what is your story? What ripples can the drops in your life make to be able to really affect the world for positive change? Right now, there's so many things going on, and you probably could be the key. Maybe not for the whole nation. Maybe it's for a group of people. Maybe it's for a single individual that your life can make a difference. But maybe that individual may be a spark to something really big. So any final thoughts here, Cliff, before we end out?
Well, you were talking about ripples, and basically that's what I'm doing, is throwing a stone into the pond to get people to think about themselves when they need to. And it's not always about anybody, you know, the people you care and love about. It's about you, because if you benefit yourself, you're going to benefit everybody around you, and you're going to create a lot bigger ripple by taking care of you as a person and focus on what you can do to make it go forward.
Wow, that's really powerful. I want you to consider again just what chapters would you have in your life. Consider what difference you can make to the people around you immediately. What course will your life take if you was to just change your decision-making process to be able to focus in, if you aren't already, on the things that matter most to you? Are you living your life on purpose? And as we end out, I encourage you, check on Amazon. This is a best-selling new release, Breaking Barriers, Decisions that Elevate People from Ordinary to Extraordinary, with 22 incredible authors. This is Jim T. Chong, the Wok Star, and
Cliff Debaugh.
And we are here to help you tell your story. You have something significant to tell. Just, I'm here when you're ready to tell it. And I want to encourage you, contact me. You can contact me on Facebook at Jim T. Chong, or on this specific venue here, you can go ahead and just message the station. They can also reach me as well. And we want to tell you, your life does make a difference. And so this is signing off from Stockton, California. Peace out.